Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to webinar number 5 as part of our webinar series from Southern Regional College Business Support. My name is Kieran Swale, I'm a tourism specialist, and today I'm delighted to say that my colleague Brenda Callaghan. Brenda's going to take you through making your food products retail ready. So a great session in front of us today, really practical, some great insight coming along today from Brenda. This is webinar number 4. So if you want to see the past webinars, please go on to the SRC website. And if you go to the business support and look at current news, we have all the PowerPoints and all the videos of the last 3 sessions. And today's will be going up this afternoon. Now, these are now webinar Fridays, and we still have four more to come after in January and in the February. So you'll get a list of what's coming up. Now back to today then. I'd ask you you're going to be automatically muted. If you do have any questions, could you pop them into the chat box and we'll take them at the end. If we're not able to answer the questions, then we will respond to you by email and we'll try and find out your query. That's enough from me. And I'm now going to hand over to my colleague Brenda, and I hope you enjoy this session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kieran. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar series. So today is the food-themed webinar. Just to introduce myself for anybody that doesn't know, I am Brenda Callaghan. I work in Southern Regional College as an innovation technology specialist for the food industry. Prior to coming to the college, I have 18 years food industry experience as a new product development manager in chilled and frozen foods. And I've been working now with Southern Regional College for the past 7 years, working with small medium enterprises in all areas of food labelling, technical, MPD, food manufacturing projects. And just to let you know, this is a brief overview of some helpful points on getting your product to the retail. But speaking to the Food Standards Agency, they will be carrying out further communication on what I'm discussing today. So there will be more in-depth training in spring of next year. Okay, so just to kind of give you a quick overview of how the college can help food businesses through various funded programs. Basically everything from idea generation, competitor analysis, right through to the new product development of the recipe development, labelling, packaging, nutritional analysis, through to the product launch, so everything in between. So anything, any queries, please just email or contact the college. So today's agenda is 3 kind of key areas we're going through here. So it's an overview, a reminder of the current food labelling legislation for food manufacturers and the allergen regulation for the hospitality industry. So there is a change in allergen legislation that's happening in October 2021, and that affects small food businesses, maybe such as kind of sandwich shops, butchers. There's useful links as well that I'm going to be displaying, so any information that you need, I'm going to put up all the links. And I'll mention a couple of businesses that we've been assisting and helping bring products to the retail market. And I'll emphasise this is a brief overview, as to fit in all of the food labelling legislation would take a lot longer. So if you need any more information I'm discussing, please feel free to email. So first things first, we're nearly at the end of 2020, and what a year it has been for all. It has been such a challenging year, especially for the food service side of things, who've been hit really hard with lockdowns and whatnot. We've had a number of inquiries from the hospitality industry about branching out into the retail space, where they can use their current production facility and keep staff on to prepare products. So that was really the reason why we put this webinar out today. Grocery retail in particular is doing well and it's got strong growth, so we'll look a wee bit more into that now. This is just a quick diagram here to show from Mintel. They have a diagram just showing the impact of COVID to the hospitality industry and food service. Really, I suppose here, what their view is, and it may take up to 2024 for the food service industry to recover, similar to like it was in 2019. So that's a huge impact to the food service sector. Grocery retail, on the other hand, has seen a rise in 2020. Kantar said shopping visits to supermarkets in November have hit its highest level since the beginning of the pandemic, suggesting increasing confidence among consumers to go into shops. And then online shopping has also reached another record high, with more than 6 million households buying their groceries online, and digital platforms accounting to 13.7% of all sales. So there's been a big shift on the grocery retail online sector. Right, so if you have a product, if you're a food manufacturer or a small food business, and you have a product that you really would like to get out to the retail, so first steps is inform your local environmental health officer. Reapproval of your own kind of manufacturing facility, whether it be in your house or whether it's be in another facility. That's the first port of contact. Contact your local council and speak to your environmental health officer. Very important, food safety training. This is key to kind of growing a business, especially in the retail side of things. So like the college offers food safety training, so please get in touch. There's plenty of funded kind of skills accredited programs. So please put in a query if you're looking more information on that. Shelf life testing considerations is absolutely key for your retail products. So whether it's chilled or frozen, but this is all very key for your product if you're getting it to the retail. We can kind of give you some guidance on that, but or else tell you who to send the product to get your full shelf life testing. And then food labelling guidance from the Food Standards Agency. They have a mountain of information, so please feel free to go into the Food Standards Agency. There's lots and lots of documents. I'll try and give you some advice on that today, but there's a lot more reading on that, so I think that would be good to kind of do a wee bit more reading on that. So this slide is one of the more boring slides. There's quite a lot of text, but there's no getting away from this. This is basically the mandatory information that you need on a food label. So it can't be shortened. To be honest, what I'm going through, there's a lot more detail behind this. So I'm kind of giving a brief overview, but if you there will be a lot more detail behind this. So please feel free to talk to me after this, and I can kind of go through any of these points. So the name of the food must be clearly stated on the packaging and not be misleading. If a food has been processed in some way, the process must be included in the title, for example, smoked bacon, salted peanuts, or dried fruit. A list of allergens in descending order, and the food products that contain any of the 14 allergens that we're going to go through in the next slide must be listed. And you must highlight these allergens on the label using a different font, style, or background colour, one that the consumer is able to read easily. So easy to understand, easily visible, and the consumer can find that information easy. The quantitative declaration of ingredients, which is otherwise called the QID, this is really, if you're calling a product a certain name, the percentage has to be in the ingredients list, and there's a lot more information about that. The quantity of your product, storage conditions, and date labelling. Best before or use by date, depending on whether it's chilled, frozen, or ambient. The name and address of the food business operator needs to be on the product, so if a consumer has got a complaint, they know who to contact. The country of origin in some cases, or the place of provenance, which is more kind of the meat industry and other areas like honey and whatnot. The preparation instructions, so what you do with the product, so if you're cooking it or whatever. Nutritional declaration is mandatory. And then if there's any alcohol in the product, if it's greater than 1.2%, this needs to be on the product. So that's just an important slide to have and to hold. And when you're doing a food label, that really is kind of your starting point. Now, the most important part of the label is the allergens. This needs to be right. You can't take any risks with your allergens. Unfortunately, you do see some kind of recalls from the Food Standards Agency, which is quite frightening. But for a food manufacturer, food producer, obviously allergens is key. So just to go through the 14 allergens, first of all is gluten, and gluten is cereals that contain gluten, so that could be wheat, rye, barley, oats. Next is peanuts. Peanuts is a legume which grows in the ground. It's different to the tree nuts. So there's two separate categories here, one for peanuts and one for tree nuts. And obviously peanuts is everybody knows there's a big risk if you're allergic to peanuts about becoming very ill. So next is celery, which is a bit of a funny one. You can find this in kind of stock cubes, vegetable soup, or stock cubes or whatnot. Mustard is another allergen. So mustard powder can often be found in a lot of seasonings. And eggs is a big one with a lot of kind of children with egg allergies. It can be quite severe. Milk which includes butter, cheese, anything at all with the milk in it is an allergen. Sesame, so this could be sesame oil, sesame seeds, anything to do with sesame. Fish, and like the likes of kind of fish, like even Worcester sauce contains anchovy, so this is an allergen in Worcester sauce. There's things here you mightn't just think about immediately. Crustaceans, which is the soft shell, the likes of crab and prawns. Mollusks, which is more your hard shell, so your mussels and your scallops. Soya, soya bean, soya oil. There's a lot of like fried food products cooked with soya oil, and soya is also maybe a product in bread. It's in a lot of products. Sulfites is a seasoning. It's a preservative which is in a lot of seasonings. So the likes of your sausages and whatnot might have sulfites in it, sulfur dioxide. And the last one being lupin, which is a flour, but it's actually used in some bread products. So if you work with food, it's important to take that food allergy very serious. You have a legal responsibility to provide the correct allergen information about the ingredients that's in the food you make or serve to your customer.
Brenda, could I come in? Would you mind go back to that slide for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what? First of all, I really like that slide, and I get that. And I suppose I'm not into food production, I just have an understanding of hospitality and tourism. I like the way you've graphically represented that, first of all. Secondly, you see what you said, 14 allergens are so, and these are all grouped. Is that more recent? Is that the most, is that as it is today, or is that how it's going to be? Or this is as this moment in time in 2020, this is what it is?
That's right, yes. The regulations, Food Information for Consumer Regulations came out in 2014, and that's when them 14 allergens were mandatory to be put in labels, and it currently is still 14 allergens. I know they're potentially down the line, there might be another one or two added. I think there's
a lot there. I mean, this is why you need help. Why food, like you've just gone through that, and I didn't know when you were talking about the Worcester sauce with the fish. I never knew that. And everything you went through there, I'm thinking, wow, like as a food producer, this is really, really significant here. What you're telling us.
It really is, yeah. I mean, it's just, I think it's the most important part of the label. It's the most important part of a food producer is looking at these allergens. And yeah, there's an awful lot of allergens hidden, so it's so key to be working with your supplier of your ingredients to make sure that nothing is missed, because it's just not worth the risk. Okay, so this is just a quick slide just with regard to the food label. There's a lot more information, but I'm trying to give an overview. The text on your label has to be equal or greater than 1.2 millimeters. And I know this is checked, so this is very key. When you're working with your designer on a label, it has to be a minimum of 1.2 millimeters, where the X is on the page. Okay, just to go back to basics, if you have a product that you're thinking about retail, this sounds really, really basic, but you'd be surprised how much maybe people don't have this information, especially maybe chefs in the kitchen. They can have a handful of this and a handful of that. So sometimes we do really reiterate this, that we need, if we're working with you, the first thing to do is get your recipe in grams. As simple as it may sound, it just needs to be all documented in grams. Ideally, the weight of the product, the raw material, and then the cooking loss afterwards. So if you just weigh your product, say you're making a sauce, adding each ingredient in, weigh it at the end of cooking, and then we can work out a bit of a cooking loss for nutritional information. So this is just really key. It's simple, but it's really, really key. Updated supplier product specifications. Any of them ingredients you're buying in to create your product, make sure that they have supplied all that information and any potential allergens on their ingredients. You really want a product specification which will give you your own ingredients list and allergens for each ingredient or product you buy. And then this will work out all the information and the nutritional information. This is just an example of, if we're working with you, it's really kind of putting that product together. I'm just an example here of a white sauce and kind of the ingredients going into that. You can already see there's quite a lot of allergens here with milk, wheat and mustard. So it's just getting that percentage of your recipe put together. We find Excel very good for that. And then from that, you can really work out your back of pack information. So it's kind of getting either a picture of that supplier ingredient if there's no spec available, but ideally you want to get a product spec from that supplier of the ingredient. And then that's where you kind of work out your ingredients list. Your quid, like a creamy white sauce, people think a creamy white sauce is made of milk, so that's why I've quidded the milk in this. So it's just putting in all the information and highlighting the allergens there, so you can see the milk, the wheat, the mustard is all highlighted, and that's what you have to do with the regulations. And also include the statement for allergens, including cereals containing gluten, see ingredients. I like bold and uppercase just because it stands out, but as long as it stands out from the rest of the list, that is totally fine. And then that's how you work out. You work out your nutritional information. So nutritional information, it's mandatory for nutritional information to be declared on pre-packed food. Local authorities enforce this regulation in Northern Ireland, England, Wales. FSA regulates and make enforcement regulations, but don't carry out the enforcement. So while most pre-packed foods need a nutritional declaration, there is a list of exemptions set out in regulation. So if you need more information on that, exemptions really relate to minimally processed foods and those with little nutritional value, like the likes of mixed herbs and whatnot, or herbs. So that there kind of shows you the minimum requirements of that food table, which is the energy, the fat, of which saturates, carbohydrates, so it's sugars, protein and salt, and that is the minimum requirements of the food table in that format. And this is really what most people kind of need to put on their labels with regard to nutritionals. So you must follow that nutritional labelling. Unless both of these apply, you're a small business with under 10 employees and a turnover of less than 1.4 million. And you supply either direct to consumers or to local retailers, and local means within your county, your neighbouring county, or up to 30 miles. Now, a lot of people that are doing retail just go the whole hog and just put on the proper nutritional labelling, so it gives them space and kind of area of growth if they do want to branch out further. So, but that is there, and it's just something to be aware of. Okay, so front of pack labelling. Some people do choose to do this, and some people like that, especially if it's maybe like a healthy meal. The front of pack labelling is voluntary, and there's a fantastic guidance on the FSA website, the guide to creating the front of pack label. So any information that's needed, look that up. That was on the FSA website. The aim is to provide to consumers just at a glance nutrition. And as I say, a lot of people that are maybe trying to create healthy products and whatnot will put this on, but at the moment it is voluntary. This is what we get asked a lot when we're maybe looking at allergens in the kitchen or for a small producer or whatever, that maybe just want to say, right, well, there's a risk that they may contain all the allergens. So voluntary statements such as producing a kitchen which uses or may contain, like for example, nuts, they should only be used following a meaningful risk assessment that demonstrates a significant real risk of cross-contamination, and shouldn't be just used as a substitute for good hygiene and safety practices. So it's not ideal just to write this, all this here food may contain this, that and the other. There needs to be a reason behind why you're putting that on the label, and that's something your local environmental health officer will talk to you about. Okay, just to kind of show you maybe a case study. I have a couple of case studies here just to show some of the help we in the college have given to helping people bring their product to the retail. So Curry Kitchen is a family-run business based in Craigavon, run by Shira McAloran. Curry Kitchen specialise in a range of healthy and nutritious Southeast Asian inspired ready meals. All meals are cooked from scratch using the finest ingredients and locally sourced where possible. So Shira was referred to the Business Support Centre by our local environmental health officer. So I met up with her and we kind of helped get her product together with a view to getting support in label and nutritional profiling. So really working with that and getting the labels kind of fully completed. Advice on shelf life. Shira wanted to tailor her meals to ensure they were nutritionally balanced. So it meant maybe working with her recipes to make sure that she was getting that high protein and the right balance of nutritional information. So it was part of the Innovate Us programme that we worked on this here, upskilling training. Training was provided in the area of the trend analysis, recipe development, manufacturing, scale up, reformulation, and all the health claims such as low calorie, low sugar, and high protein. So further to completion of the programme, Curry Kitchen's doing really well. They have now their own manufacturing facility. They've been awarded a Platinum Level Innovator Award from the Department for the Economy. There's an accredited innovation award that recognises businesses by demonstrating innovation. Business is going from strength to strength, so it's a really nice example and beautiful products, really beautiful products. So you should try them in the Portadown area, but they're branching out and going further afield as we speak. Another case study in anybody in the greater Newry area will have heard of La Dolce Vita. the Dolce Vita in March 2020, they addressed the lockdown restrictions by developing and launching pizza kits. I would say La Dolce Vita is, they have takeaways, they have a restaurant, and the lockdown really kind of spurred them on to think about another product, but potentially for the retail sector. So it kind of really something that came out of the lockdown for them. So they developed and launched the pizza kit for the retail market. So it's really helped keep their business growing when the takeaways and the restaurants were shut. The other area was their famous sauces in their restaurants and takeaways. They've actually now got them into proper retail packs. So sourced the right packaging and done the shelf life and all the food labelling information on it. So it's now out in retail and it's going well. So SRC supported the company through an Invest NI innovation voucher to launch their famous sauces to the retail market to accompany their retail pizza kits. As mentioned, this was like advice on shelf life testing. Shelf life testing was carried out through the innovation voucher and the labelling regulations. So this is fundamental just to creating and maintaining the business throughout lockdown. Okay, so this is, I'm not if anybody's aware of this, but there's a new kind of legislation coming along on food pre-packed for direct sale, and it's a little bit more information required regarding allergens. This is really stemmed from, if anybody's heard of Natasha Ednam Laperouse. She was 15. She was on a trip to Nice with her best friend, her father, and her father purchased a sandwich from Pret a Manger just before they got on to the plane. So unfortunately, Natasha, who was allergic to sesame seeds, ate the sandwich on the plane and unfortunately went into anaphylactic shock and died. So that amendment, at the time, it was like Pret a Manger weren't doing anything illegal. The signs were displayed, but because there wasn't the allergen on the actual product, that was why now it's thought that there's new allergen information. Better allergen information is needed for them type of products that are pre-packed for direct sale. So consumers, they just need that little bit more information. So this new law is coming in 2021, 1st of October. So it's really to protect those allergy sufferers following the death of Natasha. So under Natasha's law, the food business will now have to include food ingredients labelling on pre-packaged food, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. So this has really spurred on the change and the amendments to the NI, Wales and England Food Information Regulation law. So just to kind of go through that, there's three kind of areas of food. There's the pre-packed food. Pre-packed food products refer to any product, any food put into packaging before being placed on sale. Food is pre-packed when it's either fully or partly enclosed, and it can't be altered without opening or changing the packaging. It's ready for sale. So pre-packed food, if you go into any shop with all the likes of an M&S ready made here, it'll have all the ingredients list present on the packaging and the allergens present as they appear in the ingredients list. So that should be easy to read for the consumer. Now, the next area that is the one that we're talking about is the pre-packed for direct sale. And this is what happened with Natasha. It was in a Pret a Manger, buying a sandwich that was packaged from a chill. What previously had been regarded as a non-pre-packed product is now regarded as pre-packed for direct sale, where there's a new law. So these have been packed on the same premises for which they're being sold. Common foods are sandwiches, salads, pies, made and sold from the premises in which they're made. So currently, allergen information can be provided in the same way as for non-pre-packed loose food. From October 2021, the businesses must provide allergen information now for these. They'll need to have a full label, full ingredients list with the allergen ingredients emphasised within it. These changes will provide essential information. The example of like Greggs, Pret a Manger, sandwiches made at a deli and displayed in the fridge at a garage or forecourt. And then the third area is the non-pre-packed food. Non-pre-packed food, or otherwise known as loose foods. This is if you provide non-pre-packed food, at the moment you just must supply allergen information. And this allergen information is currently can be either on a menu, a chalkboard, or an information pack. And if it's not provided up front, you'll need to be signposted to where it could be obtained either in written or oral formats. So if you currently go in and there is no labelling on the product, you can ask a member of staff what the allergens are in the product, and if they don't know, they need to get a manager, legally just have to provide and give the information even orally on that product. So the likes of non-pre-packed foods include the food sold loose in retails. This can apply to delis, bakery, butchers, as well as meals served in the restaurant and food from a takeaway. And there's more information on that at the link below. So this is just a slide just to show you a bit more, you know, really if the food manufacturer wants to work out whether their product is pre-packed for direct sale, this is some FSA technical guidance. Is the food presented to the consumer in packaging? Yes, it is packed. No, it's not a non-pre-packed food. Is it packaged before the consumer selects or orders it? Yes, then it is pre-packed, but if it's made in front of the consumer, then it's not. Is it packaged at the same place it is sold? Yes, the food is pre-packed for direct sale. So if you answer yes to all the above questions, the food is pre-packed for direct sale. There's a lot more information on that. And then, so just to reiterate, really, the allergen information of what people now need is the name of the food, the full list of ingredients, including the allergenic substances, and this will be in place on the 1st of October 2021. There'll be a lot more information coming out from the local councils and from the Food Standards Agency in spring of next year to really kind of reiterate and communicate that message. This is the actual technical guidance. I have the link on the webinar here, so just click into that link and there is technical guidance on everything to do with pre-pack for direct sale. Other areas to think about, obviously thinking about food safety, the packaging of the product, because packaging is key. Whatever way you're going to package that product is how you're going to carry out your shelf lives. It's very, very key of trying to create a product with the right shelf life. Obviously costing of your ingredients based on volumes and trying to get the best cost for your product. Shelf life mentioned again, absolutely key for the retailer. They need to know how long that product's going to be sitting in the shelf. Distribution. And again, e-commerce, this is a big one here now. A lot more people are looking to try and sell their product through their Facebook shop. And this has been an excellent kind of growth this year of people trying to get their product out there, making it as easy as possible for the consumer during lockdown. So the last slide here, a lot of links and guidance, but this is all very, very key. Any more information that is needed can be found in all these links. So just to reiterate, this was a brief overview and hopefully you found some points useful and some of relevance. But as I say, in conjunction with the FSA, there will be more communication on this. At the moment, there's like food allergy training, which is really useful for food businesses online. You go in and you complete the FSA allergy training and you'll get issued with a certificate for each member of staff, which is a fantastic resource. There's a safe catering resource for food businesses, which is really useful and kind of gives you all food safety aspects of your business. Calorie Wise scheme, this is an interesting one from the Food Standards Agency. More information can be found on this link, but Calorie Wise is a scheme where if a small maybe takeaway or food business will have a takeaway, for example, if they had all the nutritional information up on their menu with regards to calories, if they have the calories on their menu, they can achieve a gold Calorie Wise from the FSA, or if 30% of their menu is done, they can get a silver Calorie Wise kind of present, you know, a silver Calorie Wise on their menu as well, which is be awarded by the FSA, which is great. It's something that businesses should really, and takeaways should really look at. MenuCal, this is just the link in order to get to help you get your calories on your menu, so you don't need to necessarily go through the whole nutritional information. MenuCal is a really user-friendly way of trying to work out your calories on your menu, so you just log into that and input your recipes and that will tell you the calories of your products, which is great for working out the Calorie Wise product scheme. So thank you. That was just a quick overview. There's a lot more information that can be found in the guidance, and there will be more detailed webinars coming up in the future. But if there's any more information or any particular questions you have, feel free to ask now, or else please email business support and I will definitely get back to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's great. Great, Brenda. Thank you very much. Really informative session there. Very, very interesting. We do have a couple of questions and I'll get to, but I think you've already answered one of them by looking at that. A couple of things that stood out really for me. A lot of things stood out for me there. I mean, on your last slide, we were talking about the packaging and the costing and the e-commerce. I mean, I'm even going back to my days at college, and we studied hotel and tourism. And I remember it's getting the costing right was really critical, you know, and obviously from a profitability perspective. And there's a real art in that. And I know at Southern Regional College, A couple of the chefs, they really specialize in that. But is this something that you're finding businesses would be asking you? How to actually cost things out?
Yes, absolutely. There is a lot of programs available to help costing things out, costing the recipes and whatnot, and we can certainly give information about that. But there's quite a few software programs that are quite good at costing the recipe out. So if that's the case, please get in touch with the college, and if we can't help in business support, as you say, a lot of chefs, we've got chefs in the college that would be working with this day in, day out, costing recipes. So please get in touch, and they can maybe guide you further on that.
Yeah, I mean, you talked there about, I love the 2 case studies, and the very good examples, obviously, of Kerry Kitchens, both them long-standing clients of Southern Regional College, and the Dolce Vita. That is fantastic, really, what happened and turned that around. And I know now they're trading online and successfully trading online. And e-commerce was one of the key things that you highlighted as well there. And the presentation and the packaging of the Kerry kitchen looked really nice. Obviously, a bit of detail went into that. Brenda, we have a couple of questions now. There's one is, how does Calorie Wise work? I think you've really answered that one. There's another one coming in here, and it's how do you actually work out nutritionals? How do you do that?
Yeah, well, so if we're working with a client, we do have a really good software system based on McCann Wilson, which is really what the system should be based on, the UK system. So we will work it out for theoretical nutritional analysis. There is software that you can purchase that maybe some more reasonably priced than others, so give us a shout about that. We can also help you with nutritional, so through some of our funding programs, please give us a shout, and we can guide you even to where to look for in that. Otherwise, there is testing, external lab testing, which obviously costs a bit more money, but it's just getting the right nutritional system. There's plenty of nutritional systems out there, and it's just getting the right nutritional system to work it out theoretically. And any help on that, please give us a shout.
Brenda, we have a couple of more questions, if you're okay. Are you okay to take 2 more questions?
Yeah, sure.
If you use ingredients that say may contain traces of in your products, do you need to state this on your business labeling? I'm taking it on your business end product label.
Do you know what? This is one that was really kind of a question for a lot of people, actually. They may contain traces. I mean, if you look through your supplier ingredient specifications, and they kind of say they may contain, I would personally follow it through just so you don't take any risks. What the advice and legislation is saying, you only do that as a last resort, that may contain traces of this, that, and the other, but really that risk assessment should be carried out to make sure there is no cross-contamination in the kitchen. And it's only after that risk assessment is carried out and you still feel there is a potential for contamination, then yes, put it onto your label. Yeah, absolutely. If you think, if you feel after the risk assessment there's still a potential for that ingredient to be on that label, then put it on the label. But just yeah. Now, I mean, the other part of it is you don't want consumers just to put that as an easy way out, because those with the allergy, it means they can't eat very much, if it's on a lot of products, So it's just, it's whatever works for your business, and work with your local environmental health officer on that as well.
Sure. Brenda, there's another question in relation to another interesting question in relation to online ordering. So do businesses have that have online ordering? Certainly, I know Dolce Vita had, and I presume Kerry Kitchen have as well. Do they have badges like the Silver Gold Calorie Wise scheme that you've put on their website, that they can put on their website?
Absolutely. If that company has got full calorie information, it's actually even displayed on the website, which if it's displayed in the menu, it should be displayed in the website. So absolutely, they can put that Gold Calorie Wise label on their website, or the silver one if it's 30% of calories on it. So yes, work with, I can give you the details of the Food Standards Agency regarding the Calorie Wise scheme, but yes, that can be that they can.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point, the way everything's happened in the last 9 months. And I'm going to make a plug here for somebody that I've just finished working with, Jill's Cakes, and who did something similar, like a DIY cake kit. And I think if you were able to put on that like a gold or a silver badge, or as a label sticking on what you had, the Dolce Vita pizza box there, certainly that will carry a bit, and also will in all of the merchandise. I think that will be another, for the consumer, it's just another mental click. They're going, right, yeah, I get that. Oh yeah, and subconscious nearly that they're going to order from you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the calorie wise, it's more for the likes of the takeaway business, where you can actually display the badge probably on entry into the store, or if you've got that information maybe on the website, you can actually display it on that. Yeah, as opposed to the individual maybe pre-packed product.
Brenda, lots of great stuff there today, really good. And for anybody that wasn't able to get to today, the information is going to be on our website, and it will be, the links to that will be circulated. I'm going to now, if it's okay, Brenda, fantastic, thanks very much. So I'm now going to hand over to my colleague Aisling. Aisling's going to tell us about how we can help you more at Southern Regional College. Aisling, and then if you would do a wrap, Aisling, as well. Thank you. Over to you.
Thanks, Kieran, and thank you, Brenda, for that really insightful presentation. It was so interesting, and I hope everybody got a lot from it. I just wanted to jump in quickly to talk about some of the support that we have available here for businesses. First up, we have the Skills Intervention Programme. It's a fully funded programme for anybody that's been impacted by COVID-19. So that could be anybody on furlough, made redundant, or anybody who's been impacted in any other way can upskill and retrain and gain some accredited qualifications with us in a wide range of areas. We also have the Skills Focus Programme, which is a training programme for businesses under 250 employees. It's funded by the Department for the Economy, and it would provide non-mandatory training. And it's recently been extended to 100% funding as a result of COVID. We also have the Innovate Us programme, which offers 30 to 60 hours of funded mentoring or upskilling on a one-to-one basis through a virtual or on-site or college premises, whichever works best. And that's for an innovative product, process or service. So this would be the most popular funding stream that Brenda would work on. We also have the Innovation Vouchers, which is a way for businesses to avail of research and development opportunities and resources for innovative solutions. So if anybody's interested in any of those, feel free to give us an email on betterbusiness@src.ac.uk. We can talk you through all your specific requirements and see what works best for you. We also have a range of webinars coming up, as Kieran spoke about. So if you want to check out our social media just to keep up to date with everything. And finally, we do appreciate all feedback on our webinars. So we're sending out an evaluation just shortly after this, and we'd really appreciate if you would fill it in. And there's also an opportunity to put in a suggestion box for upcoming webinars. So it's always great to get your suggestions. On that note, that's me, guys. Don't want to keep you too long, but thank you so much. And I hope you all enjoyed today.